To me, I think there's a really interesting kind of marriage between, you could say, the heart and the mind. I find my mind is happy when my heart's happy. What's up, everybody? My name is Jacob Collier. Hope you're doing well. I'm a musician, multi-instrumentalist, producer, singer, world traveler, human being, and I'm here surrounded by a collection of my favorite things in the world. And I'm so excited to be here. This is one of the best days of my whole life. I think a lot about the idea of a happy place, both musically and otherwise, but a creative space where things are safe, ideas can be thrown around. This space is interesting. I think I used to think of a happy place as a physical space. Nowadays, I think of a happy place as more of a place almost internally rather than externally. You can build a happy place internally wherever you are, if you can find that state of calm and connection. The ultimate creative space is one where there are no wrong answers. You go, you start, you build, you play and explore. So way before I ever started to write songs or release music into the world, I was writing and building Lego stories and Lego structures that meant so much to me. And I think there's a lot that I feel is in common between combining these two things and combining these two notes. It's inherently so simple. You know, a Lego brick is such a simple thing, and yet you can travel so far with it. There's something about handling physical things and your mind being at play, but not demanded of, just restful, but moving. Like if I'm talking to you now and I'm just fiddling with this, you know, that process of play, it enables us to function in a deeply creative manner because our minds are working, they're turning and churning. And when we return to life outside of play, our minds are more awake and they're more connected and we know ourselves better. And so I often think about that as something that's very useful for me. And I have actually come away from the creative process, sorted Lego bricks into colors, returned to the creative process and found myself deeply inspired. So it works, it's true. And that internal space of calm that's created when you pick up a Lego brick or you find yourself with a Lego set and you start to build it, nothing touches that for me. The process of creativity is multifaceted and often ever-changing for me, but I find myself coming into a state of wanting to write, say, a song from lots of different kinds of places. Sometimes it's a word that will wake up my mind and think, oh, I like that word. Maybe I could combine it with this word, and then you have a strange combination, and you go from there. Sometimes it's just like a chord. You can say, oh, I like this, you know? And then you can live in this for a while. And as you explore like a harmonic place, you think, oh, and now a melody comes, and now a rhythm comes, and now a sound comes, and now a word comes. So you can start with chords, you can start with just a melody line, something that twists and turns. You can kind of start with anything. That's the beautiful thing about music. You can start, any sound is the beginning of something. There are different parts of the creative process that I find interesting. One part is the very, very beginning, and I almost think of that as the courtship of the idea. It's like you're trying to get the idea to come and meet you. The easiest way to scare off an idea is to judge it. You say, okay, now is this good or not? I would say that the number one reason why I don't finish songs is because I'm not convinced that they're like relevant enough, or they're good enough, or they matter enough. So in some ways, the practice of finishing a song is to not mind whether or not it's good. You can finish a song even if it's half good. And sometimes much later on you realize that there is something in this that I believe in. I love it. Man, inspiration is such a mysterious thing. You can't measure it. And often for me, I don't know I'm being inspired until way after the fact. When you begin to create, it's like the life that went in starts to come out. But I think in the last, say, 10 years or so, I've really fallen in love with collaboration. And one of the biggest aids, I think, to getting out of a creative block, you could say, is reaching out to somebody and saying, what would you do with this? I can't perceive the way forward. Can you perceive the way forward? We're all kind of building the world at the same time, in parallel. We don't have to build in isolation, and nothing's ever really built in isolation. You always construct and create worlds with others, even if you are by yourself. You are the fabric and the result of all the people who have ever inspired you. So I think, yeah, not being afraid to reach out is very, very important. And also, yeah, not being afraid to make things that are kind of weird or odd or strange or even things that you don't understand. I think some of my most interesting things I didn't understand when I was making them. I've always believed that music is a language like any other. In a sense, it was my first language because I was hearing music and sort of understanding it and falling in love with it before I was speaking coherent sentences. And what I've realized over the last few years of traveling the world and touring and sharing music and stuff is that there is something that music can do which no other language can do, which is it can hit you straight in the heart. Most languages pass through your mind in some way, and your mind will somersault them and turn them over and examine them, and then they'll be ingested into the heart. But music, if you hear a song that's emotional for you, there's no pretending, there's no hiding from it. It's a universal language. It speaks to everybody.